My name is Maya. I am 20 years old. I live in a busy city and study at the university. I share a small apartment with my elder sister Sophia. When I was only 10, our parents passed away in a car accident. Since then, Sophia has raised me like her own child. She is not only my sister, but also my mother, my teacher, and my best friend. She is strong and loving. I respect her deeply because she sacrificed her own dreams to give me a good life. Sophia works as a history professor at the university. She is married to David, who also teaches there. He is polite and well-spoken. People admire him because he is calm and serious. Together, Sophia and David look like the perfect couple. Everyone believes their marriage is strong, and for a long time I believed that too. But soon, I began to notice things. Sometimes when we sat together at the dining table, David's eyes would not be on his food. They would be on me. His gaze made me uncomfortable. I lowered my head quickly, pretending I didn't see. I told myself, maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe I'm overthinking. One evening, we were having dinner. Sophia smiled and asked me about my exams. I started to answer, but when I looked up, I found David watching me closely. His smile was different, not the way a brother-in-law should smile at me. I felt uneasy. I quickly changed the topic and focused only on Sophia. That night, as I lay in bed, I could not sleep. My thoughts kept returning to David's eyes. I wanted to believe he was a good man. I wanted to believe that my sister's marriage was safe. But deep inside, a small voice told me the truth. Something was wrong. Days passed. David continued to behave politely in front of Sophia. But whenever we were alone in the same room, his eyes made me nervous. Sometimes he tried to start unnecessary conversations. Sometimes he stood too close when it wasn't needed. I avoided him as much as I could. One afternoon, I was reading in the living room. Sophia was at work and David came home early. He sat across from me and asked about my studies. I gave short answers hoping he would leave. But then his tone changed. He said softly, "Maya, you are very beautiful." Do you know that? My heart stopped. I froze in my chair. His words felt heavy, wrong, dangerous. I stood up quickly, pretending I had some work in the kitchen. My hands trembled as I washed the same plate again and again. He walked away as if nothing had happened. But I knew the truth now. That evening I couldn't eat. Sophia noticed. "Maya, are you sick?" she asked kindly. I forced a smile and said, "No, I'm just tired." But inside my heart was breaking. How could I tell her? She loved David so much. She trusted him completely. For days, I kept quiet. I thought, maybe he will stop. Maybe if I avoid him, things will be okay. But things only got worse. David began to drop small hints when Sophia was not around. His words became bolder, his eyes clearer. I was scared. One evening, I was walking back to my apartment after class. The corridor was quiet. Suddenly, David stepped out from the corner. Before I could move, he came close and said in a low voice, "Maya, you drive me crazy." His eyes looked different, dark, hungry. I stepped back, but he blocked my way. Then he reached out and touched my arm, slowly sliding his hand up towards my shoulder. My whole body froze. "Please stop," I whispered, but he leaned even closer. For a moment, I felt his breath near my ear as he said, "Don't fight it. I know you feel the same." My heart pounded. Fear rushed through me. With all my strength, I pushed him away and ran down the stairs, tears blurring my eyes. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely unlock the door when I reached home. I locked myself inside, pressed my back against the door, and cried until my chest hurt. That night, I couldn't sleep. His touch, his words, they kept replaying in my mind like a nightmare. I knew then I couldn't keep silent anymore. Finally, I could not bear it anymore. One night, Sophia and I were sitting on the balcony. The sky was full of stars. She was smiling as she spoke about her work. I looked at her face, the same face that had cared for me since childhood. Tears filled my eyes. "Sophia," I whispered, "I need to tell you something." She grew serious immediately. "What is it, Maya?" I hesitated. My voice shook. Her smile faded. She looked at me carefully. I told her everything. His stares, his words, his behavior. As I spoke, tears ran down my cheeks. I expected her to get angry with me, to accuse me of lying. But Sophia didn't shout. She sat very still, listening to every word. Her hands were trembling. When I finished, there was silence. Then softly she said, "I believe you." Hearing those words, I broke down completely. I cried in her arms. She held me tight, though I could feel her own heart breaking. From that night, everything changed. Sophia confronted David. At first, he denied it, but when she pressed harder, he admitted the truth. Sophia's world shattered. The man she had trusted most had betrayed her. It was not easy. Sophia cried for many nights. I felt guilty, as if I had destroyed her marriage. But she told me firmly, "Maya, never blame yourself. The fault is not yours. You only showed me the truth. You protected me." With time, Sophia became stronger. She made a difficult decision and ended her marriage with David. It was painful, but she chose her dignity and peace over a false relationship. Today, years later, we are still together, just the two of us. Life is not perfect, but it is honest. Sophia tells me often, trust is the root of every relationship. Without it, love cannot survive. And I have learned something important. Silence only gives power to wrong people. Speaking the truth may hurt for a while, but it saves us in the end. Always trust your inner voice. Never ignore the wrong, even if it comes from someone close. Truth may break hearts, but lies destroy lives. If you liked this story, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.